Well, hi there. Brian here with Texas Country Music News. And welcome to Texas Country. Today we got another special broadcast for you covering the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards Show 2023, and this time for the category of Male Vocalist of the Year. So stick with us. We got a great show planned for you, and we'll get right into it. Well, again, welcome to this special edition of Texas Country Music News. I am Brian. Welcome to Texas Country. Today we are talking about the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards Show and the category of Male Vocalist of the Year. This category has a collection of troubadours that have shown to have some of the most amazing voices, the most desirable acts to hire around the country, and they have done that through true grit and talent. They have all taken different roads to get where they are, but it's undeniable that they are some of the best that Texas country music has to offer. Our first artist is someone who exemplifies that hard work and dedication to his craft. So take a listen.
All these curves and turns and bridges burned, dead end hopes, but lessons learned. I should have stayed on the straight and narrow, but I was just too crazy. No one could save me. I didn't know there'd be so many stones in the road. Sometimes late at night I can almost see her there, long soft hair and loving eyes, hoping I would care. She was my one chance. But like a fool I didn't know I was leaving Easy Street for stones in the road.
There are those rare moments in time when the stars and planets align and something great happens. Like when our first singer-songwriter picks up a pen and paper. The proof can be found in the hits he's penned, including 11 number ones. Secondhand Smoke was one of those hits, which was co-written with Mark Powell and was named Song of the Year in 2016. He honed his craft as a staff songwriter for Curb Records in Nashville, working alongside the industry's finest. He learned how to package a song and develop a signature sound, blending honest country roots with an exciting modern edge. And he brought all that, along with a phenomenal voice, to the Texas and red dirt music scene, quickly establishing himself as a top-level pro. He is respected by his peers, having had songs recorded by Cody Jinks, Hal Ketchum, Ken Mellons, Kevin Fowler, and more. His song One Tequila was featured in the movie Zoe. But for this artist, it doesn't stop with the songwriting. Carrying the country music torch, he channels music straight from his heart to the audience. From ballads done in true Merle Haggard style to toe-tapping party tunes, he delivers pure country gold every time he plays and sings. Some even say that there is no one on the Texas country music scene who has the complete package like this artist does. His vocal ability is second to none, as evidenced by the many accolades and awards he's received. He's lived enough, loved enough, and lost enough, and has defied the odds enough to write and perform songs that speak with undeniable emotions to the heart. Simply put, he has the ability to make his audience feel the lyrics he sings. For that reason, fans will often drive hundreds of miles to attend a show. He instinctively knows what his followers want, a honky-tonk singer with a bold edge and an honest delivery, and that is exactly what he gives. He is a true working man's entertainer with the heart of a poet and the soul of a troubadour. He is, of course, the one and only Jamie Richards. A staunch music traditionalist who wants to bring country back to its roots, Jamie Richards has won a strong regional following in the Southwest, especially here in Texas, for his songs rich in pedal steel, broken hearts, and plain-spoken storytelling. Richards was born in Oklahoma, where his folks ran a dairy farm. Growing up on the farm, Jamie inherited his father's work ethic and his mother's love of music. He learned to sing with his mom as she played classical gospel songs on the family's piano, and he sang along. As he grew older, Richards became a serious country music fan, and in time he began writing songs himself and singing them with a band that played honky-tonks across Oklahoma. After 8 years of working clubs, Richards decided to take a shot at the big time, and he moved to Nashville, Tennessee. He soon found that most Music City record labels were looking for artists with more of a pop sensibility and less of a hard country edge. While Richards didn't make much of an impression as an artist at first, at least at Nashville, his gifts as a songwriter got noticed, and he was signed as a staff songwriter with Curb Records. Jamie's songs enjoyed success as recorded by Hal Ketchum, That's What You Get for Loving Me, Ken Mellons, Believe, Kevin Fowler, Loose, Loud, and Crazy. But after 5 years in Nashville, Richards was eager to make his mark as an artist. And in 2001, Jamie left Nashville for Dallas, where Wes Daly was reviving the D Records label, which first recorded George Jones. Richards and Daly saw eye to eye about everything country music, and in 2002, D released Richards' full-length album, No Regrets. The album fared well in Texas and Oklahoma, and 2 songs from No Regrets became top 10 singles on the Texas Regional Radio Chart. Arriving in 2004, Between These Lines enjoyed similar success, and Richards became a popular attraction on the Texas music scene, both as a live act and a recording artist. Between 2002 and 2013, and including the albums Drive, Sideways, and All About the Music, Richards landed 12 singles in the top 10 of the Texas Regional Radio Chart. For 2016's Latest and Greatest, released on Richards' own Okie Ranch Records label, the artist presented 5 new songs, as well as cutting new versions of some of his most popular tunes to date. Jamie recently released The Man in the Neon Moon and this is off of Apple Music. This is where I'm getting this information from, and I don't want to confuse you by what I'm about to say, but Man in the Neon Moon on March 23rd, 2023. He released 3 albums to Apple Music in 2021. The Real Deal, a 12-track album, includes singles like I Want To With You, Whiskey's Working Well, and Great Minds Drink Alike on January 22nd, 2021. This was preceded by just a couple days by the album Sideways with 12 tracks, which has the singles Easier By Now and I Can Party When I Need To. That was released on September 3rd, 2021, with All About the Music being released on the same day as Sideways with 12 tracks, and his current single, Man in the Neon Moon. The single of Man in the Neon Moon he released this year is the RCA version of that. So, as I stated before, these are, I'm assuming, the re-recordings that he did of his originals. So, not to be confused, these aren't brand new albums, these are just re-releases. Currently on Spotify, Jamie has a few hits. The Man in the Neon Moon has 641,000 plays. Don't Try to Find Me has 205,000 plays. Never Gonna Hear It From Me has 241,000 plays. And I'll Have Another has 209,000 plays. Be sure to find Jamie on his next tour stop, listen to his music wherever you get yours, and also be sure to like and follow him on all the social media platforms. Our next artist up for Male Vocalist of the Year is another hard-working man who has done something not many musicians get the chance to. Take a listen, and let's just keep on moving.
And he said, I'll let you in on a little secret because I know her better than most. She's like a wild Mustang that can't be tamed, and many have tried, but no one's come close. She's sharper than a knife from what life's taught her. Son, she's more than just a girl in a bar. She's a cowboy's daughter. And it hit me who I was talking to, and in my embarrassment, all I could do was blush. I said, I'm sorry, sir, and no disrespect. Never had a girl take my breath like she does. He said, don't worry, son, you spoke your heart, and I don't think that you said anything wrong. 'Cause I was once like you, a young man in a bar, and that's how I met her mom.
Our next artist makes his home in Wimberley, Texas. He's a veteran singer, songwriter, and recording artist that has over 10,000 live shows to his credit, at least as a solo or a supporting act for artists including Wayne Newton, Neil McCoy, Easton Corbin, Wade Bowen, Corey Morrow, Roger Krieger, Shannon Doa, Brian White, Cody Johnson, Cody Jinks, Sundance Head, Kevin Fowler, and more. He's a world-class studio musician on fiddle, guitar, banjo, bass. He's performed since the age of 6 when he released his first vinyl record, Here I Come World. In the years that followed, he appeared on Star Search and performed with his band at nightclubs and fairs all throughout his teenage years. His early years also took him to Texas, where he performed with Mickey Gilley several times at the original Gilley's in Pasadena, Texas. In 1994, he moved to Las Vegas to co-host an award-winning production show called Country Tonight. In 1999, he went to work for the legend Mr. Wayne Newton. He played guitar, fiddle, banjo, and mandolin on stage and eventually became Mr. Newton's music director, at least until 2007. He says, "It was an education I couldn't have paid for, all those years with Mr. Newton. He truly was like a dad to me. All the USO shows all over the planet, plus the TV and movie work we did, I will forever be grateful." Our artist and his wife Lisa were offered their own show, which they headlined for several years in Las Vegas before moving the family to Nashville. While in Nashville, he was signed by Ray Hamilton to Murph Publishing as a writer/artist and worked for Brian David Willis as a Pro Tools editor on many big records, including Brad Paisley, Blake Shelton, Darius Rucker, Josh Turner, Carly Pearce, and more. From 2013 to 2014, he was a music director for Hollywood recording artist and ABC's Pretty Little Liars star Lucy Hale, making TV appearances on Ellen, Good Morning America, Kelly Michael and the Grand Ole Opry. For the last couple of years, he's been writing and performing all over Texas and all over the Texas Panhandle and West Coast. He says, "We've put out a few things over the years, but I've never been so proud of the music we are writing and recording now. There was a period when the kind of country that I play, more traditional, story and instrument-driven tunes weren't cool. Now what I do is cool again. Thank God." What has already been an amazing journey is just the beginning. His first solo album, Guilty, was released in 2019, and his second, Road We're On, was released in 2021. The Road We're On includes the top 10 Texas radio hit Cowboy's Daughter, top 25, One More Reason, and another top 10, Nothing Good Happens After Midnight. This critically acclaimed Herb's Hat Shop, an all-acoustic, all-covers album, was released in 2022. He is also a 7-time Texas Country Music nominee. He may very well be the best secret in country music, but not for long. His high-energy, classic country is taking fans by storm, so this secret surely won't last long. I am, of course, talking about the incredibly talented Scotty Alexander. When I first started this channel, Scotty was one of the first people I reached out to. He was accessible, he was kind, never came off like the big shot that we all really know he is. I cannot be happier that Scotty's been nominated for Male Vocalist of the Year this year, and it's an honor that is well deserved. His performances are just incredible and so exciting. His high energy is a wonder that I don't know how he can still move after he's done performing. But be sure to follow Scotty on all his social media, and be sure to find him on his next tour stop. For our next artist, a show called The Voice may have given him his start, but it is what he did after that has us so impressed. Take a listen.
All you know right now is what you didn't know then. Can't fall for a bird, then cage it in. If you're gonna love her, gotta love her when she cries. If you're gonna love her, love that 2 a.m. neon in her eyes. If you're gonna love her, gotta let go when she flies. To count the stars in the sky like a child. If you're gonna love her, leave her wild. Love her, leave her wild. She's got a touch that would have stopped Kerouac in his tracks. made him and Wade kiss Paris goodbye. Her red bandana's fast asleep in your bedside drawer, while she's out somewhere up all night. You tried to tell her she was living her life all wrong, but isn't that what turn you on?
Throughout the course of his career, this next artist has written and recorded with the likes of ZZ Top, been a top finisher on not one, but two major network talent competitions, had 3 #1 songs on the Texas music charts, has been singing his entire life, and toured with some of the top artists in the business. But his latest accomplishment, his brand new album, he's got another album out after this, but when this was written, a brand new album, Stained Glass and Neon, produced by iconic songwriter and artist Dean Dillon, may just be his most outstanding achievement yet. He comes by his musical talent honestly, growing up in a household watching and learning from his father Roy, who had a hit in the 60s with Treat Her Right. As a boy, he was also heavily influenced by his late older brother's record collection, which was steeped with a myriad of artists like James Brown, Patsy Cline, George Jones, Marvin Gaye, and Queen, just to name a few. During high school, he put a band together and began playing gigs and writing non-stop, and with the help of a friend recorded more than 100 hours of tape on his songs in a studio that his friend built especially for him. When he met his wife Misty, she began encouraging him to pursue his talent in earnest. And in 2006, he traveled to Memphis to try out for American Idol. After several auditions, he landed a spot on the show and ultimately placed in the top 13 in the competition, impressing the judges with his searing vocals and lung power. The experience, while fruitful, led him back to Texas, where he continued to write and perform. Then came that fateful day he met Dean Dillon, and unbeknownst to him, his life was about to change. During that time, his wife had also encouraged him to try out for another show, The Voice. And this time, his unique and powerful voice captured the hearts of America, and he won the competition. He found help and guidance from his team captain, Blake Shelton, and took to the road with him on a portion of his Doing It to Country Songs tour in 2017. He also opened shows for Zac Brown Band, in addition to playing a slate of his own gigs, all while Dean Dillon was making plans of his own. With the help of some business associates in Texas, I had the opportunity to create my own label, Dean Dillon's Wildcatter Records, and I knew that I wanted to work with him. He's been in this business all my life, and with the exception of a couple of people, I've never heard anybody sing the way this man does. I think the most amazing thing to me is his vocal range and control. He is extremely special, says Dean Dillon. When our artist found out that Dillon wanted to produce and record him, he was humbled, saying Dean is very meticulous. He's one of those guys who is always thinking about stuff. I felt really honored when he called and asked me to do this. I Bleed was one of the first songs that Dillon brought to the table. Ironically, it's not a song that he wrote, but one that he found. I put the word out to all of my writer buddies because I knew that I couldn't possibly write everything for the record, says Dillon. I Bleed spoke to Dillon in so many ways, and it had a powerful message and a range that he knew would allow this artist to stretch his vocals and show his versatility as a singer. Dillon's producer instinct also told him that this artist would need to love the songs too. So every hand-picked or penned song also has the artist's stamp of approval. I fell in love with the song because of the message, states our artist. The guy in the song starts out thinking he's a superhero, and then here comes this little woman who brings him to his knees. The vulnerability of a man is something that I think is really sweet. The anthem-like debut single, Leave Her Wild, is a bold, empowering song about loving someone unconditionally and letting them be who they are. If you're going to love her, leave her wild. This artist's raw and soaring vocals are undeniable on this first outing at country radio. One of the centerpieces of the album is the expressive love song Showin' Off, which conjures up images of the Grand Canyon, red sunsets, the moon rising, Niagara Falls, and then exclaims, "When God made you, he was just showing off." The artist's vocals tell the story so beautifully. The artist we're referring to is, of course, the one and only powerhouse singer, Sundance Head. Other songs of note on the collection include What If, which talks about the ins and outs of relationships that play out in small-town bars everywhere, the poignant arrival and departures, drawing on the comparison of leaving home and coming back, the constant changes of life, yet also drawing on an analogy of being born and then passing on. There's also Not Give a Damn at All, a barn burner written by Dean Dillon, and the two songs that were co-written by Sundance, Close Enough to Walk and Drive Me to Drinkin'. Sundance says, I try to make each song personal to me, and if it's personal to me, then I know I can really believe in the integrity of the vocals, the melody, and the song. That's what I have to do in order for the songs to become what they are. It's almost like method acting, except I'm doing it with songs instead of a script. I definitely try to get into the part mentally, with my soul, and I want to be able to paint a story through lyrics and through song melody. It's one of the most important things for me, and I think we did that on this record. I think people want some validity now. They're ready for some art and some real music that has a stain on it. Something not perfect and calculated. It's more natural and real. And that's one of the things I think we were able to capture on this record. Sundance continues, Dean found a way to really pick songs that would fit me. He dove in, and he might just know me better than I know myself. I don't know how he did it so perfectly because all of the songs just scream Sundance Head. I'm very proud of it, and I couldn't have done it without him, that's for sure. I first met Sundance at a small concert at the Arlington Backyard at Texas Live. He played an acoustic set for the Chris Kyle Foundation, and he was, at the time, one of the most relatable artists to talk with. He then, of course, blew everyone away with his range and power. Sometimes you're able to just look at a person and know why God put them there. While watching an episode of Hot Ones with my wife, the guest was talking about a few people you come across, and his reference was Jack Black and Chris Farley. And he said it was weird when people would say to him, those guys, referring to Chris Farley or Jack Black, have got something. He would reply, well, yeah, even a blind person can see that. For me, Sundance Head is one of those people who it's undeniable that he has something. And it's one of those massive understatements to say that out loud. On Spotify, his entire top 10, with the exception of 2 songs, are well over 300,000 plays. With his 2 biggest hits coming from Darlin' Don't Go with 1.7 million plays and Leave Her Wild with 1.5 million plays. On September 16th, 2022, he released Starting Again, an 11th song with the singles Hard Act to Follow and 3 People, Me, Jim Beam, and You. Be sure to find Sundance on his next tour stop. Make sure you follow him on all of his social media platforms. Now, some might call our next artist up for Male Vocalist of the Year a legend, but I'm going to let you be the judge.
Quiet in the morning, waking up from a dream, heartache hurting, yeah, everything has your memory. Everywhere I go, you're the someone that I see. Won't leave me alone. Oh, the love we used to know, who we used to be. Baby, tell me where it goes. Everything has your memory. Shadow on a sidewalk, facing a crowd, slow song playing, neon sign shutting down, Sunday rain, Texas plate, silver cross on a chain, line of dust leaving me, everything has your memory.
20 years and some 4,000 shows into his career, our next artist's name has become synonymous with Texas country music, and for good reason. An artistic descendant of American icons like Guy Clark, Ray Wylie Hubbard, Robert Earl Keen, and more, this artist is another link in a Texas chain of roots rock poets stretching more than 50 years, but his ambition never ended at the state line. I will carry that flag proudly, he says of his well-earned Red Dirt distinction, but I've always said I'm not a Texas artist, I'm an artist from Texas, and I think there's a difference. Indeed, he has showed the world that difference since 2001 by going big on integrity. Seen as one of the genre's finest, most authentic modern voices, his approach stays rooted in tradition, but also stands on creative cutting edge. His focus remains on writing unique songs with a literary quality and shifting his sonic territory to match his life. And while the hard-touring troubadour is constantly breaking new ground, his course was set early on. Born in Waco and schooled in the clubs surrounding Lubbock's Texas Tech University, he was raised on a steady diet of hardscrabble country, realism, and rock showmanship. His mother loved Elvis, the Eagles, and Creedence Clearwater Revival, while his father spun Texas giants like Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson. His first concert was a Peak Theatrics Alabama show, but even then, it was the lyrics which spoke the loudest. He began writing poems and short stories as a boy, drawn to the page with a can't-help-it creative spark, and then in college, the songs came. Writing songs is just something you have to get out of you. It's something you have to do, he says. I think it's the same reason firefighters run into a burning building to save someone. It's a calling. You can't really be taught, you just have to have an instinct. In Lubbock, he was skilled enough with guitar to harbor secret dreams of stardom, but his journey truly started after one fateful night out, experiencing something like musical enlightenment. I thought the way to be an artist was to graduate college, then move to Nashville to wait tables, and then wait my turn in line, he explains. But when I saw Robert Earl Keen in concert, it changed my life forever. It was like, wait, he's playing his own stuff, and he doesn't have a major record deal, and the place is sold out. People were going crazy, and it was like, I don't have to wait. I can do this now. I literally went home, found some buddies, and we started jamming, he says. Soon he claimed his place as West 84's frontman, then went solo and found a home in now iconic haunts like Stubbs Barbecue and the Blue Light. He arrived amid a literal explosion of Texas country artists, but combining all his influence together always stood out. Wielding a knack for direct poet songwriting that never panders, he slices through the BS of country lifestyle posturing and matches his gravel road growl to a sound spanning the whole of Texas. From swaying campfire sing-alongs with all the mystery of a wind-blown West Texas sunset to two-steppin' country rockers geared toward Saturday nights in the state's famed dance halls, he earned a rep for purpose-driven diversity, and just like his heroes, does everything on his terms. A dozen albums have shown the evolution, including 6 studio sets, 2 beloved live collections, a gospel album, and an ongoing series of buddy country hits with fellow Texan Randy Rogers. Lost Hotel was a watershed moment of songcraft, boosting his standing in the crowded Texas field. If We Ever Make It Home mixed deeply personal writing with a muscular Springsteen-style rock sound, and in 2018, Solid Ground reconnected him to his hill country roots. Along the way, he scored hits and accolades based on quality, not quantity, collecting 4 more trophies at the T3R Regional Radio Music Awards in 2021. But he's also earned the respect of the commercial industry, proving his mettle with The Given on B&A Records in 2012 and continuing to make appearances on the Grand Ole Opry to this day. I think I pride myself on being universal, and I'm so glad I don't ever just settle for making another record, he says. It's really important to me to prove a point with everyone. We were, of course, talking about Mr. Wade Bowen. Lately, his Hold My Beer and Watch This series of albums and tours with Randy Rogers have made a point of exploring new avenues, and while showcasing the pair's fun-loving brotherhood, and also as a solo act, Bowen continues to tour hard, overcoming a 2018 vocal surgery and the 2020 shutdowns to retake his place on nearly 200 stages per year. But even that will never be enough. Just like his heroes, many of whom are now peers, Wade Bowen has spent a lifetime bringing his Texas-bred country music out into the world. After 20 years of success, he's learned without a doubt that the sun shines on a dreamer, but also that the road really does go on forever. Like Ray Wylie Hubbard has taught so many of us, you don't have a choice if you're a true songwriter. It just calls you to do it, Bowen says. I really believe that with all my heart, and I just feel like I've got a lot more to do, like I haven't accomplished anywhere near what I set out to do. It's not a discouraging thought, he adds. I just really feel like I could be better now than I've ever been. On Spotify, hit seems like an understatement. with Till It Does racking up 11.6 million plays, Who I Am with 15.3 million plays, but that is kind of a misnomer as it's listed on 2 albums on Spotify, so the real number on that one is actually like 18.9 million plays. Rhinestone has 3.1 million plays, West Texas Rain with 7.2 million plays, Rodeo Clown with 4.3 million plays, Sunshine's on a Dreamer with 7 million plays, When Love Comes Around with 1.3 million plays, and Saturday Night with 8.4 million plays, and that's just the top 10. Wade, of course, is a huge artist, and he puts it, and as he puts it, he's a huge artist from Texas, but to us, he will always be a Texas country music artist. We will all be trying to buy tickets to see him at his next show, and it seems like most of us are already streaming them on Spotify, so maybe give Apple Music or YouTube a stream or two. And be sure to follow him on all of his social medias, of course. Our last artist sings a song like he's painting a picture, and it's one of the coolest things we've heard. Go ahead and take a listen.
It don't matter what you're going through, I ain't afraid to tell you the truth. That's exactly what I'm supposed to do. We've been high, we've been low, gone as far down the road as hell can go. More than blood, thick and thin, no matter what, best friends. There's some things I don't want to know, and same for you. Truth be told, I ain't ever gonna tell a soul. All the crazy nights we've had and the good times still outweigh the bad. But man, sometimes I wanna kick your ass. We've been high, and we've been low, gone as far down the road as hell can go. More than blood, thick and thin, no matter what, best friends.
A singer-songwriter whose slice of life, tunes, and rough, heartfelt delivery earned him a following in the Southwest. He was born in Flint, Texas on May 19th, 1986. When he was 12, his family moved to College Station, Texas, and he began taking guitar lessons at church. His taste then leaned towards hard rock, but when his father played him Willis Allen Ramsey's classic 1972 album, the youngster became interested in the Texas singer-songwriter tradition. He immersed himself in the work of Robert Earl Keen, Jerry Jeff Walker, and Pat Green, and began writing songs of his own. He eventually enrolled in college after jobs as a ranch hand and working in a feedlot didn't work out for him, but he was more interested in music than academics, and it took him 6 years to complete his agricultural economics degree at Texas Tech. He spent nearly as much time playing open mic nights and acoustic gigs as he did studying, and by 2008 he was playing a weekly residency at the Blue Light in Lubbock. That same year, he released his debut album, Dangerous Man. The album Misunderstood followed in 2010, but it was 2013's Rose Queen that became his breakthrough. The album was a solid success in Texas, where the songs like She's Like the Beatles and It's About Time earned significant airplay. The album eventually peaked at number 34 on the U.S. Country Albums chart, and his reputation grew way beyond Texas. And in 2015, he dropped his 4th album, Ringling Road. The Sympathy, Sticks and Stones, and the title tune were all radio hits in Texas, and the album sold even better than Rose Queen, climbing to 18 on the U.S. Country Album chart and going all the way to number 1 on the Heat Seekers chart, a listing for new artists on the rise. Following the 2016 concert set live at Green Hall, he returned in 2018 with Hebert Island, which peaked at number 6 on the U.S. Heat Seekers chart and number 11 on the Indie chart. Most recently, though, he released Baker Hotel and filmed a music video which is nominated for Music Video of the Year at the historic Baker Hotel in Mineral Wells, Texas. We are, of course, talking about Mr. William Clark Green. I do have to say, when doing my research on these artists, William is a bit of what I would call an intentional mystery. He is the only artist that does not have a bio on his page. And there's not much of a bio you can find anywhere on Mr. Green. And so just like the Baker Hotel itself, we know that he likes to maintain some mystery around him. So I'm going to help continue with that allure and that mystery, and I'm going to say on Spotify, he is a juggernaut. With a song he did with fellow panhandlers, West Texas in My Eye, racking up 7.3 million plays. She Likes the Beatles has racked up 31 million plays. Ringling Road has racked up 22 million plays. Drunk Again has 5.3 million plays. Still Thinking About You with 13 million plays. Creek Don't Rise has 9.4 million plays. The One I Was Then has 3.9 million plays. Another Panhandler song, The Panhandler, has 1 million plays. And Old Fashioned has 9.2 million plays. So be sure to see William Clark Green at his next tour stop. Be sure to stream him wherever you get your music. Be sure to follow him on all of his social media. So wrapping up the 2023 Texas Regional Radio Music Awards category for Male Vocalist of the Year, your nominees are Jamie Richards.
Dead in hopes, the lessons learned. I should have stayed on the straight and narrow, but I was just too crazy. No one could save me. I didn't know there'd be so many stones in the road.
Scotty Alexander.
Never saw a girl look like she did, from her cowboy boots to the top of her brown was perfect. She had a smile like I've never seen before. It was so sincere and felt so warm. Wrecked me. There was an old cowboy behind the bar. I told him I gotta ask her on the floor to dance. It sure looks like she's out of my league, but hey buddy, do you think I've got a chance?
Sundance Head.
She was sitting cross-legged smoking a bum cigarette, black Chuck tees and checking her phone. She might as well have had a t-shirt on that said beautiful and hard to get. She took away your breath like smoke. All you know right now is what you didn't know then. Can't fall for a bird, then cage it in.
Wade Bowen.
Names in an oak tree, shining the stars, feeling lonely. Tequila shots up on a bar, quiet in the morning, waking up from a dream, heartache hurting. Yeah, everything has your memory. Everywhere I go, you're the someone that I see. Won't leave me alone. Oh, the love we used to know, who we used to be. Baby, tell me where it goes. Everything has your memory.
William Clark Green.
Comes around once in a lifetime. We've been high, we've been low, gone as far down the road as hell can go. More than blood, thick and thin, no matter what, best friend.
Thank you for watching, and thanks to all the artist management teams for making this broadcast possible. Be sure to give us a like and a follow, and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that little bell icon. For more upcoming coverage on the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, be sure to check out txcountrymusic.net and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course, YouTube and Twitter. Hope you have a wonderful evening. I am Brian, and this has been a special edition of Texas Country Music News. Welcome to Texas Country, and we'll see you next time.
Never saw a girl look like she did, from her cowboy boots to the top of her brown was perfect. She had a smile like I've never seen before. It was so sincere and felt so warm, wrecked me. There was an old cowboy behind the bar. I told him I gotta ask her on the floor to dance. It sure looks like she's out of my league, but hey buddy, do you think I've got a chance? And he said, I'll let you in on a little secret, because I know her better than most. She's like a wild Mustang that can't be tamed, and many have tried, but no one's come close. She's sharper than a knife from what life's taught her. Son, she's more than just a girl in a bar. She's a cowboy's daughter. Then it hit me who I was talking to, and in my embarrassment all I could do was blush. I said, I'm sorry sir, and no disrespect, never had a girl take my breath like she does. He said, don't worry son, you spoke your heart, and I don't think that you said anything wrong. 'Cause I was once like you, a young man in a bar, and that's how I met her mom. He said, I'll let you in on a little secret, because I know her better than most. She's like a wild Mustang that can't be tamed, and many have tried, but no one's come close. She's sharper than a knife from what life's taught her. Son, she's more than just a girl in a bar. She's a cowboy's daughter. Said, I'll let you in on a little secret, because I know her better than most. She's like a wild Mustang that can't be tamed, and many have tried, but no one's come close. She's sharper than a knife from what life's taught her. Son, she's more than just a girl in a